Nope, we're not dead.
It was
It
all
was
a
all a
dream.
dream.
Ooh. So wait a minute. So then why didn't the times we died in the dream wake us up earlier then? I want my speedrun strats where you die immediately at the start of
And
the
then wake
level
up.
in order to get to the end quicker. Gosh, game. Jeez. So something we didn't talk about is Madeline has a certain amount of stamina. You can't just cling to a wall forever or climb up a wall forever. Well, you can cling to a wall for a really long time if you don't move, but if you try to climb more, it will take away a lot of stamina, and if you run out, you'll start to slip.
Basically Breath of the Wild.
Yeah, basically.
Essentially, yes.
You refill your stamina all the way just by touching the ground, or an energy crystal, though. Pretty much anything that would refill your dash refills your stamina.
Now, the game will tell you about this later, but wall jumping does not consume stamina.
Yeah, wall jumping does not.
So if you're getting close to running out of stamina, you can wall jump up a narrow path to get yourself to the next room.
Oh, I forgot about. You see, Madeline's emotes are so great for Twitter reaction posts. Like that picture, I have that picture of her just looking really, really annoyed on my phone, just in case I ever need it.
So, is this guy the old man, then? Do we get to steal his apple?
Old man? No, he's like barely older than Madeline is.
Yeah, Theo's also it's implied that he's not nearly as good at this as Madeline is.
He's not here for the same reason.
He's not. Well, he's here for a similar reason. But he's also like kind of dumb in certain.
Well, dumber but way more relaxed.
Yeah, is the thing.
Life goals.
I really do hope that they do a small DLC thing where you can pay. This game's like $20, I think, and you pay like $3 or $5 and can play as Theo. I don't know what they do to make him play differently because the gameplay is Madeline's moveset is pretty restricted on purpose. I don't know what they could do to make her play differently.
He becomes mighty and Reg.
Oh yeah, as opposed to being Amy, which would make much more sense. What? No, did I spoil the Mania commentary already? Oh no.
the third Mania commentary we're going to be doing.
Oh, God damn it. We wouldn't do any other game 3 times. But anyway, yeah, so
I'm more amazed that this random payphone on top of a mountain still has service.
her mom has blue hair.
Blue hair.
I didn't actually. Again, this is the first time I've seen these cutscenes since I first played it.
Which gives credence to the thought that I've been seeing floating around is that it's the mountain that gives her the dash.
That would make a lot of sense, actually, especially
like that her hair is naturally blue,
and she just doesn't care that it's just suddenly red normally,
or doesn't notice.
Yeah.
Well, she just saw the selfie with Theo. It'd probably be weird to think, hey, wait a minute, why is my hair
but he was
different?
doing all those stupid color filter things, so who knows?
Yeah. So you're going to have to do a little bit of math to figure out how many times Ryan died in each level, because every time you replay it, the game will rack up deaths on top of the death counter you already had.
Yes.
Yeah.
That said, my color coordination senses cause me to theorize that she does indeed dye her hair red.
That would make sense. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think she'd be wearing blue if she had.
Goddamn meatballs!
Intended to have blue hair.
Yeah. That does make a lot of sense. Not to mention that. Sorry, I got really distracted. There's a couple of cool things about this level. Like, one thing that I only noticed when I first started playing this level is in each level, every time you die, there's a different kind of like wipe screen depending on what level it is. And in this one, it's a key because we're in the hotel.
We can check out anytime we want, but
yeah.
Mr. Hotel Owner here won't ever let us leave.
This might, story-wise, this might be one of my favorite chapters in the game, even though it doesn't add to the plot really at all. Oh god, I forgot how creepy that was.
Hi, Mr. Oshiro.
Mr. Oshiro, is, I think, this character god. Sorry.
Celestial Resort Hotel.
2 guests in 1 day. Business is finally picking up. Yeah, we might actually be able to pay to keep the lights on for 5 minutes.
Oh no, light comes in the window, the roof shot, dude. You don't have to pay for light now.
We have the sun.
Yeah, so he really wants us to see the presidential suite.
Huh.
Delightfully devilish, Oshiro.
I'm trying to remember if anything in particular happened in the presidential suite in The Shining. The book, The Shining, not the movie, The Shining.
Movie.
Oh,
Yeah.
you know what? I never figured that this might be a reference to that. But that did take place in a hotel.
A little bit, but well, no, The Shining is in a hotel.
Okay, so level 3 is like a huge difficulty spike. I think like levels
It's
1 and
a
2.
pretty big one, yeah.
Level
1 and 2 aren't
is-
too bad.
Level 1's pretty okay. Level 2 you'll probably die some, but not a ton. I think level 2 is really just there to get you really accustomed to how the dash works, I think, and different directional things and stuff like that. But these stupid floating meatballs are going to kill you all the time in this level. And honestly, out of every stage in the game, I'd say World 3's B-side might be one of the hardest in the whole game.
Well, you died, what, 800 times?
800 times, yes. It was...
About 320 for me, I believe it was.
Yeah. This game also has one of the most deceptively difficult parts to find, because it's not like any sort of puzzle or anything. It's just a really easy to miss secret passageway. So... Oh yeah, those are...
Cassette tapes.
Oh yeah, those are... I love the cassette tape music. You have to find the secret passage in order to get them, and that's how you unlock the B-side, is by finding the cassette tape.
Yeah, and if you get all the hearts and complete all of the B-sides, it's when you unlock the C-sides.
Yeah.
Now, the
That
weird thing about
sense.
the weird thing about the B's and C-sides is that I think the B-sides are actually harder.
Yeah, you were talking about
For the
this.
most
I haven't
part.
played the C-sides
Because-
myself.
Because just for comparison, let's say the B-sides are consistently 8 and 9 on the difficulty scale out of 10. The problem is the B-sides are entire levels long, which means you're going to be stuck doing these things a lot over and over and over. Meanwhile, the C-sides, while they may be consistently a 10 difficulty, are, except for I think the last one, basically just 3 rooms.
Yeah, so
So they're much faster to complete. You don't have to have such high command of the game just to finish them.
Not to mention that many of the rooms in the B-sides are also really, really long, too. And some of them require pixel perfect, and I don't think it's quite frame perfect.
Hold on, is that supposed to be black mold?
It's just evil.
You'll kind of find out more about it later in the stage, but it's just goop. If you see the little wiggling lines on the sides of the pillars there, if you touch them, they're fine to touch once, but if you move off of it, more black goop will form like
Goop will
that.
appear.
So basically, you can only traverse that area once before it becomes impassable again. And that's used to some kind of devilish things in the B-sides where you think you figured something out, but you forgot to.
Now you're stuck.
Now you're stuck, and you can't progress anymore. Yeah, I never saw them as meatballs before, but now I can't not see them as meatballs. The moving, they're the first real instances of like a moving obstacle in this game, and
Besides Shadow Madeline.
besides Shadow Madeline, yeah. And they really did mess me up quite a bit early on.
Especially on the B-side, because they move very fast in the B-side.
Oh god, dude! If the music wasn't so good in B-side Hotel, I probably would have just given up right there. But it's the best song in the game, so I kept on going.
Yeah.
So what is the deal with the B-side and C-side? What's the...
B-sides are basically just hard mode.
Yeah, there's no real reward for doing it other than just having more levels to play. This game, if you want to go for 100%, is rough, because not only are there such and such strawberries to find in every level, and a B-side cassette to find in every level, and a heart. If you technically want to 100% the game, you need to do what's called a full clear, and collect everything in one go. so you can't miss anything. And the first time you're going through, you're almost certainly going to miss a few strawberries, and probably the heart, because there are several points of no return in every level. You can backtrack if you want, and it's like, okay, I think I might have missed this strawberry or whatever, and a few of the levels are kind of open. Like, there's a central hub, and you have to go through like 3 or 4 different paths in order to unlock the way forward. So if you think you missed a strawberry, you can backtrack to some extent in order to find it. But once you get past that point of no return, you just can't get it. And if you missed a strawberry or the heart by that point, you just have to start the level all over again. Thankfully, this is something that gets a lot easier when you're replaying the stage, because I don't know actually why it's not... Oh wait, no, I think it's only in the pause screen. If you pause the game will kind of have these white lines. There'll be a row of dots and white lines. And the white lines kind of symbolize chapters of a stage, and which are points of no return, basically. So it's like, okay, you've got 4 of the 5 strawberries in this sector. You should keep on looking for that last one before you go to the next sector. But again, this is something that only will appear in the pause screen when you beat the stage.
After you beat the stage. Yeah, Mr. Ushura, you jerk.
Yeah, so he's basically... He's freaking out.
He's guilt-tripping Madeline.
Yeah, he's freaking out a little bit. I really like him because he's a very complex character, but you only really see him for a little while. So I felt bad for him and creeped out by him at the same time, which I suppose is kind of what they were going for. So, you know, good job, game. There. I believe you're, oh, damn, I thought you were, I would have died there. Good job, Brian. I believe that this section of the stage is semi-non-linear in that you
can choose any path.
Yeah.
And basically, that path will clean up the clutter. That means the paths will change depending on which order you do them in.
Yeah, and you have to...
Like where those purple blankets were, that'll be squiggly line areas if you do the purple area first.
Yeah, and in order to get the heart, you have to do a specific path first.
Nope.
No, wait, no.
It's all involving the second one.
It's all involving you have to do a specific one.
The middle right one, yeah.
Okay.
Now, I'm showing this after I talk to him. I'll be showing probably the most dickish strawberry in the stage.
Oh.
Power of positive thinking. Sure.
Aw, how helpful.
Unfortunately, we'll be learning later the idiom of "don't keep others warm by setting yourself on fire."
Oh yeah, oh yeah. That's kind of implied to be something she does a lot, basically. Yeah. Which is part of what makes her a very relatable character to anybody who has ever had a mental health issue before. Like, honestly, I'm having trouble thinking of many other games that cover this subject matter as
Yeah, you have to come back here after some clutter is cleared and then go
down. Yeah, because there's like something on the... Okay, I remember that one took me a while.
Yeah, that one took me forever because it's technically listed as the last one of this sector.
Yeah, so you
and
think
since since this is a non-linear sector, that's very confusing.
Yeah. But yeah, I don't think that... I can't think... I'm sure there have been other games, but I can't think of many... And there certainly have been many games that use metaphors for things like depression and anxiety before, but I can't think of many games where it's like not even subtext, just straight up the text of the game is about this kind of stuff. I'm really struggling. I hate
Hellblade.
that stupid...
Hellblade.
Okay, I've never played Hellblade. I hate that heart because that, if you're playing the game...
Although I think Hellblade is actually more about specifically psychosis.
I mean, the only one that it seems even remotely comparable is Eternal Darkness, but that's less depression and more just...
Fourth wall breaks. Fourth wall breaks everywhere.
Well, fourth wall breaks and just general sanity.
Yeah. I mean, it's pretty... I don't want to say easy, but exploring ideas of, like, seeing things that aren't there is particularly effective in a video game interactive medium, because you can really play with people's brains in ways that you couldn't necessarily do.
I guess
so
you
in a
could
book.
count Yume Nikki.
What?
Yume Nikki.
What? I've never heard of that
Dream
game
Diary.
Before. Never heard of Yume Nikki?
No.
Oh, well. It's a free RPG Maker game. I think it's an RPG Maker game. that's sort of just like, it's just exploring this girl's dreams. It doesn't really have a plot, and the only goal to speak of is collecting these effects.
Huh.
There is an ending once you get them all, but you're mostly just exploring this girl's subconscious. You should try it out. It's free on Steam, so.
Okay.
There's also a remake of Yuminiki, but it's not quite the same kind of thing. It's also kind of budget.
Hi, Theo.
How do you even get this far in here?
I don't know.
So
How
if
did you get in?
He has the power of side character.
How did you get in here? I couldn't even get in here. I had to clear the clutter to reach this place.
So if Theo dashes, does that mean that his beard suddenly shaves? Because if so, then Matt Makes Games, call me.
What is that the completionist version of an air dash?
He does kind of look like Gerard, now that you mention it.
Yeah, kinda. So I believe you have to go down this path in order to get to the
Yeah,
heart.
you clear the clutter and then you take a secret passage back to this path.
Yeah, it's one of the. Again, it's hard.
It's one I figured out on my own, but I could see people struggling with it.
It takes a lot of trial and error to figure out which ones you need to clear out before going into this one.
It actually doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter? Are you sure?
It's just the purple one.
Okay. Oh, do you find the secret computer game?
Pico 8, yeah.
Yeah. So, I think you have to go up into that little passageway there.
Yeah, that's where the heart is.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, you have to...
See, the purple clutter here, that's the only thing that's stopping you.
Yeah, but you
The
can't...
problem is, once you leave the area, it's blocked off because the story wants you to progress.
Yeah, so you have to clear the purple clutter before going into this...
No, this is the purple clutter one.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
So you have to find a secret passage to get back to this area.
Oh, yeah, alright, that's... Okay, sorry. I misremembered. I can't
This
tell
one's kind of annoying.
I can't tell you how many times I died in this room, don't worry about it.
God damn it.
So do you show off the Pico 8 computer in this playthrough, or...?
I show where it is, but I don't think I play it.
Okay, because it's funny, because the Pico 8 version is actually, like, the full original... So Celeste was originally a Game Jam game that the creators made in, like, I think a couple of hours.
Yeah, Game Jam is a 24-hour game-making competition.
Yeah, so they made the whole game, the whole Pico 8 game in 24 hours, and it's basically the same basic idea, climbing a mountain and you have an air dash, but obviously...
There's obviously no story or anything.
There's no story, and it's much less fleshed out. They even have strawberries in it, too, but the game doesn't really track it as much, and it's a pretty hard mode to beat, I should also say. Like, that's not easy either. So, it's fun, and once you find the computer, you can play it as much as you want. So, I find it really cool that they hid that in there, and there's also a couple of other story beats about the people who used to run the hotel with Oshiro in that room as well, if you care about that kind of stuff, too.
Yeah, see that waterfall on the right there? You have to climb up it. Once the clutter is clear, and it'll take you back to the main path.
To the main. Okay, yeah. All right. Okay, yeah. So...
See, there's the Pico 8, and you just climb back up through here.
Yeah, so... One thing about this game is that you... there's a lot of... Obviously, the sprite work's very detailed. I get really paranoid about this game. Okay, because you just did what I did. You dash into everything, that looks slightly suspicious, just to make sure that it's not a secret passageway. And sometimes the game, the game's hit detection's a little wonky, and you can dash into something that is a secret, and it won't count. I believe it's level 6 or 7, where... There was something where you have to dash into the wall on the left, and I did so, but the game didn't count it as... So I thought, okay, I'm going to dash into this to see if there's a secret room. There was a room there, but the game didn't count me as breaking the wall, so I didn't find it until my second playthrough, which was annoying, but...
Hi, Oshiro. Wandering off, there's nowhere to go.
Yes.
What's that?
That stick I've got over there. It was doing a great job. Right, stick? Nope. Okay.
Madeline is a pretty good snarker.
Yeah, she is... She's multi-layered, which is another thing I like about it. If you look up if you look up some old tweets by the development staff, though, they do have like early placeholder text where she's just like, beep boop. I ran all the way back to come find you. Thanks, man.
This looks treacherous.
It is.
I
generally don't cut out many deaths. One, because that's kind of the point of the game. Two, I generally don't get... Since this is a second playthrough, I'm not getting stuck very much.
Yeah. Thankfully, the game's respawns are really, really quick. Which is, again, you know, a kind of...
I like how Theo's face is upside down.
I love again, like... The detail that games like this and Shovel Knight put into the text, and like how certain things will wiggle, and everybody's got a different voice sound effects to how they're that's one thing I really love when game developers do, and it's odd how indie titles with a really small team like this, like a team of like 6 people, can put that much effort into these sorts of small things, and big budget games don't do similar types of things.
It's kind of a two-way thing there. When you're focusing on limited resources, a lot of the time game developers will do these kinds of attention to detail things, mainly to make up for the lack of really eye-popping stuff. You see that the same kind of thing in Persona 5 with all of its wacky, stylish menu stuff.
I hate this ROM, for the record.
It's kind of compensating for the graphics being really simple, you know?
Yeah, that makes sense. Although, this game does have the benefit of having absolutely gorgeous sprite work.
That was the dash not reading correctly.
So, trying to get that strawberry is really annoying because you kind of have to
jump very precisely.
You have to jump in order to leave a part of that floor there behind, for you to jump through the open spaces in order to get back through the regular part of that stage again.
Oops.
So Ryan, do you instinctively use the shoulder button to grab onto the wall even when you could just normally wall jump? Because that's what I tend to do, and it did get me into trouble.
It depends on the room.
Yeah, that
I don't use it too much, but it's one of those, I'll usually have it pressed down just in case, but if I can tell that it's going to cause me problems, I'll let go.
Hang on, is Oshiro having a Gollum moment?
Yeah, he's freaking out and talking to himself. And yeah, so this is kind of the point where I really started to not like him as a character, but when you realize that that all the black meatballs are his anxieties literally pouring out of him, and you see how many are all over the hotel already, like that was like a kind of an oh shit moment for me, where you realize just how freaked out this character is all the time, and that really hit home for me personally. Like that was one of the it's such a small moment, but that was one of the most kind of powerful parts of the game for me. There's a lot of points like that in there, and this is a relatively small one, all things considered. But when you realize that he freaked out every single time you see one of these meatballs float, they need a better name than meatballs.
I don't know what else to call them.
I don't know.
Meatballs.
So did any of you guys watch on like Foxbox / 4Kids TV? There was this shonen show that was like Pokemon / Yu-Gi-Oh, but they were chefs, and there was a kid and he had a group of meatballs that he used to fight people or something.
Nope, don't even know what you're talking about.
Okay, it was like one of those Foxbox shows they showed at like 6:30 in the morning after Ultimate Muscle. So it was only on for like 5 episodes.
That sounds
I
about
can't
right.
imagine. I can't imagine why, you know. But
Dark subtext. Well, later on, once we say one last night. Dark subtext.
Oh,
I want to talk. I
damn.
want to talk more, but since I haven't played this game, I find myself just reading the story.
The story is really, really good. Like, it's one of the best I've played in a long time, and you do see a lot of it's simultaneously very indie. Like, it's the kind of story that you really would only see an indie studio try to tackle.
I'm sorry. that was just that was. I know that feeling where you screw up and then you're so frazzled for the moment.
You immediately mess up again.
You immediately mess up again.
Oh,
yes.
this game is also a champion of. Hey, look, I got almost to the end on my first try, and now suddenly I can't do it.
Oh my god, I hate that! I hate that so much! Oh, I can't tell you how many times that happened to me, especially in B-sides, where you get to the end of the room your first time, you die, and then you suddenly forget how you're supposed to do the rest of the stage, and you're there for 15 minutes. Ugh.